Hello! My name is Lakin, and this is...
I'm Walter, hi.
And you're listening or watching the Two Peas in a Pod Book Club podcast. In today's episode, we're going to be discussing the Hunger Games Trilogy.
Yeah.
So, all three books. This is the second time?
Uh-huh.
At
Our
least...
second episode?
No. At least the second time we're reading it.
Oh, I thought, yeah.
This is a reread for both of us.
Got it, yes.
So, we're just discussing, like, how the series holds up, and also what we still love and what we dislike about the series, and just probably go way too long. So, if you haven't read the series, we're gonna be spoiling it.
Definitely.
Lots of spoilers here and there, so if you haven't read it or you don't want to be spoiled, come back later. We'll be here later. You can watch this after you read them. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
Sounds good.
Yeah?
Looking forward to it.
Woo. Before we get started with all the Hunger Games funness, what are you currently reading?
Well, right now I finished all the books that I was in the middle of, but I just finished the 6th book in Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn series.
Mm-hmm.
There are 2 separate sections. There's a first era and a second era.
Uh-huh.
So I just finished the 3rd one in the second era, and there's a 4th one coming out soon, hopefully. But this one, I forget the name of it already, which I feel bad about. Bands of Mourning? Bands of something. Anyways, 5 stars, easily. Brandon Sanderson is amazing. He had me, like, the second one in this second section was 3 stars. It wasn't very good. And he had me nervous, but he really pulled through on this one and made me feel much more connected to the characters, everything like that. Loved it. Teared up at one point in time.
Wow.
So cute. Like the romance was great, and just the people he really fleshed out and made me want to like them. So that is currently what I am reading.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, well...
What are you reading?
I'm finally getting to the 2nd book in the Dread Nation series. So
that's the Civil War Zombies?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was one of my top 5 favorite books of last year. It's by Justina Ireland. So good. You got historical, and you got zombies. So, like, I don't know what else you want, but it's the 2nd book. Finally getting around to reading it, and I'm not that far into it. Like, I'm maybe... I'm maybe, like, 3 hours into it, because I'm listening to it on audiobook.
Yeah.
But so far, it's living up to the hype of the first book.
Good.
Which is good. And I'm excited to see where it goes.
Is that the only one? Normally you're, like, in the middle of 4 or 5 books, so...
Yeah. Well, the physical book I was reading was Aquacorn Cove.
Yeah.
By Katie O'Neill. But that one, like, I read it last night. I started it last night, and I finished it last night because it's, like, an 84-page graphic novel.
Yeah, those aren't very difficult to haul through.
And it was so cute. It's just, like, a little graphic novel about, like, protecting the ocean and all the cute ocean creatures and stuff like that. Like, I'm pretty sure it's a middle grade graphic novel, but I still think everyone would think it's good.
That's cute. I love the art on it. From what I saw, great art.
All of the Katie O'Neill graphic novels, all the art is adorable. So, let's go through them one by one and say, did you like the book and what did you rate it? Okay?
Got it.
So, The Hunger Games.
Yeah. The Hunger Games. Yes, yeah.
The first book, yeah.
5 stars.
5 stars?
Liked it, obviously.
Okay.
Since I gave it 5 stars.
Okay, and let's also, if I never rated books before I got into the bookish community and also Goodreads.
Yeah.
But if you had rated it back then, what would you have rated it? Would it still have been 5 stars?
I think it might have still been 5 stars, yeah. Because I was really into, like, Divergent, Hunger Games, there it is. I was really into the post-apocalyptic book scene. Loved reading post-apocalyptic books. So this was, like, right up my alley. Plus it was archery, which I was really big into as a kid. Stuff like that, so it was top tier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I say top tier a lot. That's, like, my saying now. Cool beans. Man, I've stopped saying cool beans as much.
Oh, no.
That was a cool saying, though. Cool beans.
It's a saying.
My new one is top tier. So.
Okay. So, for me, The Hunger Games, obviously liked it.
Yeah.
But this reread, I gave it 4 stars.
Really?
Yeah. And I feel like if I had read it back then, I would have given it 5 stars.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, I feel like I would have been very lenient with my 5 stars because I was pretty much either I loved it or I hated it type. There were very few books that I just like was okay about, but I was in the same post-apocalyptic book scene. And we're not talking about Divergent, but the last book in that series was the first book that I actually got angry at.
Oh yeah, I think everyone got angry at the end of that book.
Yeah, but like that's the only reason I remember that series is because of how angry I got at it.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about the Hunger
We can talk
Games.
about those later. We can.
Let's.
We can dissect that at a later date.
So, Catching Fire.
Yeah. Man. Catching Fire was my least favorite of the 3. I think. I think I would give it a 3. I did give it a 3. This time around.
That's a big jump from
Yeah,
5 to 3.
I know. I mean, it's still a good book. Suzanne Collins did really well with it. I guess we're going to talk about it more in depth later on. But yeah, that was my rating. It was good. It was okay.
Would your rating have changed from...
I probably would have given it a 4 previously.
Oh, okay. Well, this is where we differ. Because Catching Fire is my favorite Hunger Games book.
It beats Hunger Games?
Yes. In my opinion, it beats the first one. We'll get into it when we get into it, but I have reasons that this one's my favorite. So this one gets 5 stars from me. And it would have gotten 5 stars back then. Okay, and the last one, Mockingjay.
Yeah. 4 stars.
4 stars?
Yeah, I liked it. I like endings. Like, no, if I get all the way to the end of a series, there's a high chance that I'm going to like the ending, unless it's Divergent. unless the author intentionally butchers it. I'm normally pretty happy, so I liked it. I liked Mockingjay. What's your rating of Mockingjay?
4 stars.
4 stars.
That's what I was thinking, but you never know. I could have still been on the hype from the favorite one and just like kept on riding with the 5 stars.
Yeah.
But no, 4 stars. I was very content with this ending. Like even back then, very content with the ending back then, and now I think it's a great ending for Hunger Games.
I agree.
Yeah.
They did a good job with it.
So the next question I had actually wrote is, what was your favorite book? But I already said mine because I'm over ambitious.
Hunger Games was mine.
The first one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the Hunger Games, like the first one is good. Like it's really good. And it's definitely like deserves the hype that it gets.
Yeah.
But I think the second one is my most favorite because it just felt so much more emotional, because like they had gone through, so at the beginning of the Hunger Games, Peeta and Katniss didn't know each other. Like they did, but not really.
Yeah.
And so they go through these Hunger Games and try to survive. And then they think that's it.
Mm-hmm.
They think and they realize, like in the second one, they realize that they're never going to escape the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
They are always going to have to live in this fear of playing this role. And if they mess up this role, everyone in their life that they love will die. And then just like seeing Effie like start to like have feelings and like go from just being like this like person who wants to get a better district to like being really sad and like having these like wanting to make these like trinkets or whatever for them all to like be a team forever because they know that they're never gonna be a team again.
Yeah.
And then just like whenever like Mags goes in for Annie and just like all the tributes who like they know each other and they're friends and they've all been through this.
Yeah.
And they're having to go through this horrible thing again just because President Snow is spiteful. And so it's just like in the first one, the first time I read it when Rue dies, I cried. But every other time, like the times that I've like watched it or like read it again, I haven't cried in it. Like I've teared up, but I've never actually cried. But in the second one, I'm crying all the time.
Yeah, you lose a lot of good people
in
the second one and in the third one.
And it just like hits you.
Yeah.
And so like I think that's why it's my favorite.
That makes sense.
Because and plus like those games, like the clock.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was
genius.
Plutarch.
Heavensby.
Plutarch. Yeah, Plutarch?
Yeah, Plutarch.
That just sounds weird. Anyways, great guy. Good game maker. Very impressive.
Like, that's so much more clever than just, you're in the forest.
Woods. Yeah. That is true. I love that. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying, I thought it was a well-written book, and everything like that. I'm not sure why. It got lowest rating on mine.
Well, I mean, usually in, like, trilogies, the middle book is, like, the filler and the lull, and it's really just, like, a bridge to get from the first to the last book. Yeah. So, like, I'm not surprised that, because a lot of people, like, that's their least favorite book. Yeah. But, yeah. Okay.
That's a good, like, I hadn't really thought of it as deeply as that, so those were good arguments. Mm-hmm. Maybe I should have rethink my 3.5. And now it's 3.5 based off of Lakin's.
By the end of this, it'll have 5.
Probably.
This whole podcast series is just me training you to like books the exact same way I do.
Except for the first one where my rating got worse and worse throughout the entire discussion.
So we reread these books to talk about them now. Is that the first time you reread them, or?
I bet I reread them once before this. Yeah. I'm a serial rereader, so I couldn't like say a specific time, but I bet I read them later on in high school, at least once more, before this round. Okay. So, what about you? How many times have you read them?
This was my second time reading it. Yeah. Yeah, I do not reread books. I've only reread like a handful of books, and there's only a few books that I actually can reread. Because like once I read a book, if I know what's happening, I get antsy reading it, and so like I tend to skim. And I don't like skimming when I read. Yeah. So like it's just like if I'm gonna skim, then what's the point of reading it? You know? If I know what happens.
That's solid.
I can just think about it. I don't have to take all this time to read it. But I would, when I was younger, I would flip the book open to certain parts. So that way I would reread a certain part.
That's weird.
Like I remember rereading like Finnick's sugar cube scene because I thought that was so sexy. But then, like, when we rewatched the movies, like, that looks
Not
so
sexy.
corny.
Not sexy.
But, and then I remember rereading Rue's scene and, like, whenever
Yeah.
she dies. And so, like, I remember rereading scenes, but this was the first time I had actually read the whole series back again. But I do watch the movies a whole lot.
Yeah.
Like, I have, like, watched the movies at least 2 times each.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I bet the same for me. Maybe not the last 2.
Yeah.
I might not have watched the last 2 a second time.
Because the movies are, like... because I had only read them once, the movies had kind of become my version of the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, they were good adaptations.
Oh, yeah. They did. They followed the story very well.
Yeah.
The casting was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they changed anything major enough for me to care about it.
Yeah.
So, it wasn't Percy Jackson.
But hey, that's getting a reboot.
Is it? Are they remaking it, or are they starting in the middle?
Rick Riordan I think he's creating the script for a TV show that will be going on Disney Plus.
Willing to check that out.
Because even Rick Riordan is ashamed of...
He should be.
The movie.
It was disgusting.
But as, like, through watching the movies of the Hunger Games, at some points I would, like, be like, well, why is Katniss acting like that? Why is Jennifer Lawrence playing Katniss like that? Like, it just seemed kind of, like, awkward and just, like, kind of not acting, just, like, standing there. But then rereading the book, I was like, oh, that's Katniss.
That's right. Katniss doesn't have much of a personality.
No, she does not.
Man.
So,
poor Katniss.
were you, like, in the Hunger Games fandom when it was a thing?
I don't know. No.
Like, was this just, like, a series that you enjoyed, but then it was just, okay, on to the next one?
Yeah, more like that. I mean, like, I guess I don't know how to describe it. I wasn't part of, like, the fandom, but I cared enough about it to, like, know what was happening in the fandom. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like
like, you were a fan, but you weren't like...
I was a bystander. I just watched and creeped on their fandomness.
I was in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that was the first time I had ever experienced something like that. Because, like, I could have been on, like, forums and messenger boards to, like, get into all the things that I was, like, excited about during that time, but talking to people in general freaks me out.
Oh, yeah.
And just, like, even behind the protection of a screen, it's still like, no thank you. So, like, that was the first time I was ever actually able to see, like, a fandom in person. And so, that just, like, I just went all in. I wore the pin all through high school. Yeah. I ended up getting, like, 3 of those pins because I kept losing them or breaking them because they would just they were on my, like, backpack thing. And then for gym in high school, the messenger or the medicine bag that has the 12 on it in the movie that PETA has his medicine in, that was my gym clothes bag.
You are a mega nerd.
And then I made t-shirts for every single midnight premiere. My favorite t-shirt was I drew a clock and had all the different, like, things in it. And
do we have a full list? Surely there's one out. Like, is there, like, a canon full list version?
I can't remember if we got a full list, because I don't think there's a full list.
In the book, only, like, 7 are mentioned.
Well, it gets enough to where, like, the empty spots weren't overpowering.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, definitely.
So, I think... Yeah, I don't think I had all of them on there. But, and then in the first movie, I drew the Mockingjay pin, and I said, on the shirt it said, here's some advice, stay alive.
Nice.
And so I was just, I was very much into it.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a little too much, but you know. So, we've already talked about this a little, but movies versus the books. What's your favorite movie out of the 4?
Man. My favorite movie out of the 4 might actually be the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the arena and the imagery of the clock and everything. I thought that was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And the characters are a little bit more fleshed out. Katniss has emotions, sort of, sometimes. So yeah, definitely, I guess I would say the second one was probably my favorite. But in comparison to the books, I'm always going to be a book over movie guy. And I understand that they're two different medias, two separate forms of art. But I guess I would prefer to be able to spend that amount of time within the world of reading a book.
Mm-hmm.
Movies are only 2.5 hours of in the world time, while books can be so much longer. So when I listen to audiobooks for 10 hours out of the day, I really need to have long books, long amounts of time within the world.
Yeah, I think the second one is my favorite movie as well.
Yeah.
Because that's the movie that I cry the most in. But even though, like, I'm glad they broke up the last book into 2 movies. Mm-hmm. Like, at the time, whenever they first did that, I was so annoyed.
Yeah.
Because, if you're gonna do that, like, I don't want to have to wait a whole year. But I do think they did that to give it justice, so it wasn't all crammed in, because a lot happens in that last book.
Yeah.
And so the ending, if I'm remembering it correctly, because we don't have the last 2 movies on our DVD shelf. So I'm not able to watch those as often, but I'm pretty sure I enjoyed the ending. I still have the scene when Katniss kills Coin and then the people like trample Snow.
Yeah.
Like, I still have that in my head from the movie.
That was great.
And also whenever the whatever the mutts that attack Finnick.
Yeah.
Like, I still have that
I can't
seared
remember
in
what
my
they
head.
look like.
Oh, they
I
were
don't
creepy.
have those in my brain. Probably good that I don't have those in my brain.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Nightmare-inducing.
Happy to not remember them.
But some of the things that I wish that they had added into the movie, that they could have easily added, like, there was no, it didn't take away from anything, was just, I don't know, in the books, Haymitch was so much funnier.
Yeah.
At the reaping scene, he falls off the stage because he's so drunk.
Yeah.
And then also, whenever Katniss gets the Mockingjay pin, she gets it from her friend Madge.
Yeah.
And why could Katniss not have a friend in the movies? Because she didn't take up any time really in the books.
Yeah.
She was just mentioned.
She was a side character.
So those types of things, I'm why couldn't you put those in? But I love what they did with Effie in the movies, because just they expand her arc so much more.
Yeah.
That it just hits me so much more. And also the stylists, the people who do her hair and makeup, Katniss's people.
Yeah.
I forgot that they went into District 13 with her.
Even though they were imprisoned and...
Yeah.
That was so sad.
That was so sad.
Oh my goodness. Chained to a wall?
Oh.
Good golly.
With a drain in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
So, just seeing... I would have loved, in the movies, to have seen more Capitol people start to,
yeah,
kind of realize, hey, something's wrong here. This is not okay. With the Effie and with the stylists and stuff like that. Just kind of those, small little, why are we doing this instead of just blindly following like sheep.
Mm-hmm.
So, but other than that, yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
I think they're both two different mediums that did it so much better than I could have done.
They did very good. Yeah. I would rate them all highly. Like, they did not jump the shark on any of the movies. They didn't butcher the storyline or anything like that. So, it was good. I liked it. I appreciated all the effort that went into making it that well.
Yeah. We both know what this story was mainly about, and that was not killing.
It was the love story.
It was the love triangle.
Obviously, that's all that mattered.
So, whenever I was younger, like, that was the big thing. Like, yeah, they were killing each other. Yeah, they were defeating and having this revolution and all this stuff. But the love triangle to me as a 13, 14, lovesick preteen, that's what matters.
Mm-hmm.
But reading it now, I have lots of thoughts.
Me too.
Yeah?
Me too. Yeah.
You can go first. You can go first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, as a kid, I was Team Gale. I thought...
What?
I was.
No.
Okay. Listen. I was, like, super outdoorsy, Boy Scouts camping. Gale was a cool dude. Hunting with a bow. They had already, like... You know when you start reading a book and you have a main character, the very first character that they have any form of connection with, romantically, or like, you know, when you read the first book and you see Gale and Katniss together, you're like, oh, okay, so those two are getting married, right? So I automatically latched onto that. I thought he was way cooler than Peeta, right? I'm sorry, I know. This is my very first reading. As the reading went on, I was like, okay, Peeta's a stand-up dude. I like him way more. Gale is distant. He's sort of a jerk face.
Peeta is? Or
No,
Gale?
Gale. Gale is sort of a jerk face. And then, you know, he kills her sister. Bombs her away. So I lost my appreciation for Gale's cool archery skills. And turned across to Peeta's side. I was Team Peeta by the end of it.
Okay.
This read-along, I wasn't on any side. I was mainly just anti-Katniss because she sucks at relationships. She's the worst. Okay, so if she legitimately didn't like Peeta, IRL, if somebody was like super nice to you and they did all these things and you just weren't interested in them, you have every right to do that. You have every right to not be interested in them. You have every right to not pursue anything with them. Yeah. Right? But she in the first games, it was all an act to survive. That's fine. It was life and death, right?
Yeah.
Then she gets back and there's no relationship with Peeta at all. They barely talk. They never have any interaction until the victory tour, where they're all lovey-dovey for the cameras to survive again. That is okay as well. But after that, she does whatever makes her feel best. She kisses Gale like 17 times.
Yeah.
She asks Peeta to sleep in the same bed as her because she has nightmares. She falls in love with Peeta, it looks like, but then she's still kissing Gale when they're together, and she's just a crap bag, and I hate her so much in the relationship area. She's the worst. She had no... Even at the end, it was like the third act, there it is, I lost it. It was the third act of the third book. You can hear, she hears Peeta and Gale talking about her, and Gale's like, she'll just choose whoever she can't live without, because she hasn't decided yet. And then Gale bombs her sister, and Katniss is like, oh, well, I guess I'm with Peeta now, even though he sort of wants to kill me. And it was just crap human being. she deserves to be alone. So, those are my feelings on the love triangle. Get out of here, Katniss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in the beginning, like the first time I read this, Team PETA all the way. Boy with the bread had my heart.
Yeah.
And, like, Gale was just like, he had his chance. They were friends for forever. Like, if he really liked her, like, he could have slid in whenever, you know? But he didn't. He only slid in whenever another boy showed interest in her. And so,
well, maybe he thought it was a done deal.
No, to me, that means that he doesn't actually like her. He just is territorial.
I can see that.
Yeah. So, I was never Team Gale. And even now, like, rereading this, like, why is he a love interest? Like, why make him that? Why give him this confusing character arc?
Yeah.
Because you want to fill a trope?
I feel like it was just for the love triangle trope.
Like, they were friends. Boys and girls can be friends with each other. They don't have to, like, one have feelings and pine over the other. Like,
yeah.
They're just friends who were surviving and needed to do what they needed to do, and they're close, but, like, that's never gonna happen, you know? Yeah. Like, I never, like, rereading it, I never even saw any chemistry. Like, when they were kissing, she was just doing it, not because she liked him, but just because she wanted to be doing something.
Yeah,
she needed to get her mind off whatever she needed to get her mind off. So, like, she was just using him.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, and then whenever, like, President Snow, like, threatens his life, she's like, oh, no. Like, maybe this means I love him. And, I don't know. Like, Gale did not need to be there as a love interest.
I agree.
Never, ever, ever. And PETA. My thoughts have changed.
Really?
Yeah. So, I'm still Team PETA.
Yeah.
But not PETA in this relationship. PETA is a cinnamon roll. He's a little bean. He is precious.
He is. He's a cutie patootie,
He needs to be protected.
Oh, yeah.
At all costs.
Great guy.
Like, so selfless, so smart.
Yeah.
And just, like, strong and artistic. Like, everything you want.
I'm having to take notes over here. So that's what she likes. Finally, I figured it out.
And he, like, the whole time, he just wanted something that was real.
Yeah.
He didn't want to play games. He didn't want to, like...
He was so innocent and hurt when she was a scumbag.
Because he thought it was real.
Yep.
And the fact that he thought it was real... but she knew it was a game, like, that just hurts me.
Yeah.
And, like, why are you going to, like, play into this to end up, like, stabbing him in the back and, like, twisting the knife a couple times? Like,
yeah.
He deserved so much. He deserves all the happiness in the world. But, like, even as a, like, reading these books... Katniss and PETA aren't together that often.
Yeah, no, I recognize that the second round.
They didn't really talk to each other till, like, towards the end, whenever they're almost in the games, the first book.
Yeah.
They're not even together in the games until close to the end.
Yeah.
And then after the victory, after they win, they don't talk.
For, like, an entire...
Almost a year.
Yeah, almost a year.
And then on the...
No interaction.
And so the only time they talk is on the victory tour after that.
Yep.
And
where
then,
they have to act like they're in love and dating and engaged.
And then in the second Hunger Games. But then once they get out, like, the first... no, because in the end of the second book, Gale says there's no District 12, right?
Yeah.
That's how it ends. Okay. So, like, the whole third book, or at least the first half of the third book, PETA's not even there.
Yeah, he's gone. No scenes at all.
And then whenever he gets there, he wants to murder her the whole time.
Yep.
And so, like, they're definitely not lovey-dovey there. So it's really just, like,
yeah,
he's, like, sort of cute moments, these small cute moments, maybe a handful of genuine cute moments. And then you have the very end when it's like, oh, they had 2 kids and they live in this meadow and they're happy.
Yeah.
Because
they didn't have any, like in the 3rd book, they didn't have any romantic scenes.
No.
Because the entire time he was still recovering from the Tracker Jacker torture. So like there's not a single scene at all where they are in a relationship, right? It's always he's either trying to kill her or they're recovering.
Yeah.
He's recovering. And then it's like, oh, they're married. They have 2 kids. It's 5 years or however long in the future. Like,
yeah. Now, I will admit that the real or not real quotes.
Yeah.
So precious.
Oh.
Like him, like being like, do you love, or you love me, real or not real? And then her saying real. Like that melts my heart.
Probably lying because he needed to hear it. She's the worst. Like,
and then
it's a pity love.
And then the quote at the end of the last book, whenever they're talking about have 2 kids and we are happily ever after and all this stuff, like the dandelion quote or the daffodil quote, whatever that quote is, I can't remember it right now, but I know it's cute.
Yeah.
Like, there were genuine cute moments between them, but overall, there was not that much more chemistry than her and Gale.
Yeah, no.
And so, like, it just shows that how much, like, in YA books, especially in 2008, like,
they would just,
all you needed was a little bit, like a little crumb,
and
and then the teens would clamber for it and hold on to that crumb for dear life.
Yeah. And there just had to be, in every single YA book, there has to be a romance or a love triangle.
Yeah.
You know, even in, like, this book, I don't know. I mean, I would be much more happy with it if it was better written, the love triangle part of it, or the love interest part of it. But, like, it's not really needed. I mean, it added a big story arc to it, but, yeah.
Yeah. Like, reading it again, I'm glad it didn't take over as much as I thought it had the first time. Like, I'm glad there was more discussion on the games and the revolution and that type of thing, with the love triangle kind of being on the side. So, I'm glad it's not just a full-on love triangle, like, she just made this world just so she could have a love triangle. So, I appreciate, even though I don't think there is a love triangle, it's maybe like 3 dots that are in a close vicinity
not really
of
to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
It's 2 dots and then Katniss just ping-ponging back and forth to whoever she needs at the moment.
And I don't even know if she actually, like, I'm sure, like, after the books, you know, like, they have 2 kids.
Yeah.
They had to, like, at least sort of love each other. But I don't know if she ever, like, actually knew what love is.
It was
like,
just an obligation at that point.
Obligation or, like, desperation of, like, needing someone to handle all this trauma with her.
Yeah.
So.
Which is just sad.
Yeah, it is very sad.
For Peeta.
And also,
sad for her, but.
Also, they were getting, like, President Snow, like, I forgot that she was 17 whenever they were trying to force her to marry Peeta.
Yeah.
And then they were talking about her being pregnant with a baby.
Yeah.
Like, she was 17.
She felt 20-something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought.
I feel that.
Maybe it's also because, like, the people who played them in the movies are, like, in their 30s. Playing 16-year-olds.
Was she 30?
I don't know. But she wasn't 16.
Well, yeah.
That's what I'm, like, usually they're a lot older than what the age that they're playing.
Yeah.
So, that was the one thing that I thought I couldn't be going into high school because I have to be a whole lot taller and look a whole lot older because I still looked like I was 10. Because in all these movies and High School Musical and Hunger Games and all this stuff, like,
Spider-Man is 48.
Yeah. But, so, what did you think of the actual games in this book? Or in these books?
These books?
Yeah.
I like the second one best. Great, fantastic design. Even, like, Suzanne Collins, great design. Good job. And then there was sort of, like, the games in the third book where they were traps and stuff, but it wasn't really the same. But I even liked the first one. I thought the first one was good. It felt much more like, from what you had, from the little peaks that we got to see of the past games, it seemed much more traditional. And then there was the Quarter Quell, the 75th Quarter Quell.
Yeah.
Which was, like, super special. But, no, I liked them. I liked them all.
Yeah.
There weren't any duds that we saw.
No. Yeah, I enjoy these games a whole lot.
Yeah.
Even though, like, the whole point of them is to murder children. Like,
but it's fun to watch children murder each other when you're reading it in a book.
I mean, yeah. But I did appreciate the games and, like, how, because Suzanne Collins, like, a lot of her favorite books are war books and, like, anti-war books and stuff like that. And so I could really see that in the third book, like, rereading it and knowing that. Like, the whole, like, we're still in the games, like, through this war. Like, you're not going to be able to escape. And really, war is just this deadly, complicated game that you know the rules to, but there also aren't rules.
Yeah.
And so just trying to navigate all that. And so I liked how we were able to... I liked how they explained in the second one. They talked about all the other games more in depth because they were having to, like, since they were going against these victors, they were having to, like, study these games. And so I liked getting to see Haymitch's game and how he used the force field.
I loved the fact that she actually told the entire story of Haymitch's games. That was very cool.
And then I enjoyed, like, the... just seeing how all the games were different, and because you had, like, the rocky terrain, and then
with the poisonous snakes and
then all the water and just different things. And so, like, you could kind of, even though we only saw 2 games, it kind of felt like we knew what to expect and, like, what was normal and how Katniss's games were so not normal.
Yeah.
And so just... and also how organized they were. Like, especially, like, in the movies, like, this, whenever they have the, they show the game makers in, like, that, like...
in the bowl-shaped
the bowl
room. Yeah.
And they, like, just... they type in this thing and then pull up the mutts and, like, just
and she's
drop
just like,
them.
Wham!
Yeah.
And they pull up out of the ground. Oh, yeah. Very cool stuff.
And then, like, seeing, like, how they would, like, lift up the bodies and then drop all these things and then really, like, making it games and, like, the interviews and just really, like, parading these kids around and stuff. It was just so, like, unique and I think it still holds up today.
One thing I did notice that I didn't snag, it was just like 2 seconds worth of book time, but Annie's games, the way she won is she didn't even, I'm not sure if she killed anybody. Like, there was an earthquake in real life that broke a dam and flooded the arena, and because she was from force, she was just able to swim the best.
Yeah.
And I think the other guy had already died. And, like, that's just how she won. And she had already snapped. Like, she was straight crazy by the time the dam broke. So that's something. And then, like, if you noted, there's, like, a theme almost multiple times throughout the books, throughout the different descriptions of the games. You see the victors are people who used the games against itself, right?
Yeah.
Because Haymitch uses the force field as a weapon, which wasn't supposed to happen. Annie wins just on accident. Katniss in the second one they used the arena against itself. Nuts Foltz.
Yeah.
The guy from
He like
3. Yeah, he electrocuted them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how he got the I can't remember, but he got it. He electrocuted them. He used electricity.
Yeah.
Using the arena against them. So I thought that was cool. I hadn't noticed that in the first round of reading, where a lot of the victors who weren't careers,
Yeah.
they were smart enough to use the games against themselves, which I thought was very cool. So that was a good little tidbit that I noticed this time.
Yeah, you have to learn to play the game by your own rules.
Yeah.
If you want to win.
Think outside the box.
Mm-hmm. Because like, and also like the advice of like, don't go into the cornucopia.
Yeah.
Because you're just gonna die. And when like in Katniss's Hunger Games, Peeta's there too. I don't know why we keep saying Katniss's. Like, Peeta's there. Peeta's thriving. He's being
a good guy.
Yeah. But like all those, especially like in the movie, you can really see like they're all dying.
Yeah.
And like it's like, I don't know how many it is, but it's a good number of them.
I think like 11. 9? I think it might be 9 died in the first.
Maybe.
11 or 9 died in the first bloodbath.
But like it's just like playing. Okay. I think we're just talking in circles about these games, which I could go on and on about, but I'm sure people, if they're listening, they're over it.
It's okay.
So let's go ahead and, so instead of like diving deep into like every single character, because I feel like if we're going to talk about characters, we can't just talk about Gale, Peeta, and Katniss, because there's so many more.
Yeah.
So many more that I enjoy way more. So just give me a list of your like top characters.
Oh man. Top 5, top 3?
However many you want.
Got it. Okay, Beetee. I liked Beetee. Peeta, obviously. I didn't actually, this read-around, I didn't love Haymitch.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know, like he didn't seem as funny to me, or as like, it didn't even seem like he had much of a friendship relationship with Peeta and Katniss. I know you just said not to dive down into it, but it just felt like
you can.
He was always just an older authoritative figure, and that's all he was. Like in the third book, he wasn't, I don't know, he just never felt very friendly towards Katniss when she was, trying to be the Mockingjay, doing the promos and everything. Like he was just always sort of like the father figure almost.
Yeah. So
he wasn't, he's a medium, in the middle. I loved Effie, and all the
stylists, like
stylists,
whatever.
Yes, thank you so much. Stylists, loved them. Didn't like her mom very much. Primrose was, she's sweet, but she's neutral because she doesn't have a lot of airtime. Finnick, great guy, loved him. Trying to think, yeah. And then on my cons list, my negatory list is Katniss and Snow. They're about even. They both suck.
Okay, so my loves.
Yeah.
Are Effie.
Yeah.
Rue.
Oh yeah, hey, I like Rue too.
No, you can't.
It's too late.
Too late.
Dang it, this is awkward.
Apparently she's on your hate list. Rue, Peeta, let's see, Finnick.
Yeah.
Mags.
Oh, Mags. She was so sweet.
So sweet. Joanna.
Oh, I really like Joanna, guys. She's on my good list.
And, is his name Boggs?
That's somebody from Arena 2, but
No.
Does he? I don't.
Not Arena 2.
Beetee?
No. He was in the third book. He was one of the soldiers. He was like
Boggs.
the main soldier.
Boggs.
Like he's the one that like.
He got his legs blown off.
Yeah.
And he died.
Yeah.
I think Boggs sounds right.
Okay. Well, him.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. Like, those are the ones that I like.
Haymitch isn't on your top
Cinna.
list? Yeah.
Cinna.
I named Cinna. He was in my...
No, you didn't.
He was in my preppers list. He was in the...
The stylist?
I've already lost the word stylist. Yeah, he's in the stylist list.
No, because the stylist...
Yes!
I was
He is a stylist.
Yeah, but I was thinking you were talking about the 3, like,
Well, I'm talking about them too. All of them.
You can't just add people. That's not how this works.
I'm not adding him. He was already there.
But no, and I think that's like the ones that I like loved, and I would have loved to have seen more of.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed Haymitch, and I think he's better in the movies, even though I would have loved to have seen the more like funny things of him like falling off the stage like in the book.
Yeah.
But in the 3rd book, like, you're right. His personality kind of changes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's no longer there. It's just kind of like he's there, but he's not there.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Which, I mean, half the time he can't have alcohol, so he's suffering. But,
it's like it knocks him back to in the first book, right before they go into the games, like that relationship where he's not friends with them. He's just trying to get them into the game so they can live or die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but like in the 2nd book especially, like, I feel like is when Haymitch really shines.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because he's allowing himself to, or he has allowed himself to kind of get attached to these 2 victors. And just really willing to do whatever he can to save them.
Yeah, definitely.
So.
And I guess that's what threw me off this round, is because in the 2nd one, like, they're friends, and they have a good relationship, and they, like, after the Court of Quell is announced, they become, like, they start training together, and it seems like they have, like, this little tight-knit group.
Yeah.
And that's what the book 3 threw me off, because it's just not there anymore. Like, Haymitch just doesn't seem to care about
anything.
Katniss or Peeta. Like, you would think it would show a scene where he goes and sees Peeta or anything like that, but now that I think about it, the only interaction that Haymitch might have with Peeta is like at the very end when they vote if they're going to have another Hunger Games. I don't think there's another scene with them together.
Yeah, like he really takes a back seat.
Yeah, he's just gone.
And like he's kind of replaced with Boggs.
Yeah, you're right. That's weird. It's like in a TV show when one character, like, they're shooting a movie at the same time, so they can only do like little tiny scenes, but they're gone most of the time. That's what it was. It was weird. Huh. Yeah.
Okay, and the last thing, because I feel like we've kind of talked these books.
I think so, yeah.
Almost to the ground.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit more. What was so for each book, best part and worst part? Like, it doesn't have to be like your pet peeve of the book, like why did she write it this way, but just like your favorite scene or least favorite scene type of thing.
You go first.
I go first?
Yeah.
Okay. So, my favorite scene in the first book is probably the scene whenever she pulls she fires the arrow and drops the apples and explodes that thing.
That's a cool scene. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's my favorite scene. And also just all the scenes with like her and Rue. And then like whenever Thresh like saves her life.
You're not allowed to use that one.
That one's cool too. And my least favorite scene is when Rue dies.
Yeah.
Like that was, and then like
so sad.
District 11 gives her the bread that they were probably sending to Rue.
Yeah.
Like,
so, man, just gut me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so for book 1, it was Thresh. It was gonna be Thresh. In the movie when the girl is like cutting up her face and she's like screaming like a goat. She's like, yeah! And then Thresh walks up and he just like crushes the girl's spine. Yeah, that was cool. That was cool. Also, like the heartbreak when Rue dies, and then like the second Rue dies, Katniss shoots the dude right in the chest. I was like, yeah, get wrecked.
Yeah.
You so deserve that. Yeah, those were good. And then my least favorite parts of the first book was Rue dying. And then, man, I don't know. It's weird. Like, what happens to the career at the very end?
Cato.
Cato, yeah.
Oh, that was horrific.
Yeah, like, despite the fact that he was the villain, like, he was the last one they were fighting, trying to kill and everything, like, you sit there for hours listening to this dude get chewed up when the entire time you could have leaned over and shot him in the face?
Yeah.
What are you doing? That's so terrible.
Whenever I reread that, I was like, ugh!
Yeah.
Because all I remembered was that scene in the movie. Whenever, like,
it's only like a 5-minute span.
Well, maybe not even that.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as he falls, she just, like...
Yeah.
Shoots him. And, like, that's so merciful instead of just because he has the armor on.
Yeah.
So, like...
They're, like, just mushing him. They can't cut through the armor. So they're just, like, mushing up his meat and bones through the armor. It's like, oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah, because, like, in the movie, you see the game makers, like, moving the sun around. They're like, okay, now it's... They push it to dark, and then the mutts come out, and then when Cato gets dragged under, right into the mouth of the cornucopia, the sun comes up, I think. Or maybe it happens, like, right after she shoots him.
Yeah,
but it's not a long amount of time. It's just a couple minutes. But in the books, like, you don't see the game makers do anything, and it's like they just sit there and wait for him to get chewed up for hours.
Yeah.
It's like, good golly, Katniss, shoot the dude.
Like, I don't care if he's, like, the worst person ever.
Yeah.
Like, you don't just allow him to suffer
That
like
sucked. Yeah.
that. But, okay, second book.
Second book. Every scene with Katniss being a jerk to Peeta by messing with Gale and...
Those are your favorite?
No. This is my least favorites. I'm
Oh,
starting
okay.
with my least favorites.
Okay.
Obviously.
Oh, okay.
I know I didn't say it, but... Katniss sucks. No soul. Man. My favorite scenes is when Joanna comes out of the comes out with nuts and bolts. They're just coated in blood, and she's pissed.
Yeah.
Joanna is. She's like, I got them for you. Joanna's cool. She's top tier. She's pretty cool. I like her. Another favorite scene is the elevator. Where Joanna screams. Yeah. No particular reason. But just I thought Joanna was a very cool character. She was pretty badass.
Yeah.
She was pretty bad, but
I would have liked to have seen more of her.
Yeah.
Like, I would have loved her to have been part of the, like, kind of army group in the third book. You know, like with like Gale.
She wasn't.
No, wait, she was. Yeah, she was.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because they didn't.
I remember.
They didn't do that before. They got her out at the same time Peeta did, and then they started that. But
yeah, she wasn't with them during the propos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would have loved to have seen her, like, her not have gotten taken by the Capitol.
Yeah.
You know, like...
That was sad.
I would have loved, like, her to have just been with Katniss the whole time. For them to, like, actually grow that friendship that could have been there.
Because the only thing that the book got out of her being captured was her fear of water. Which wasn't even, like, I mean, it was brought up in her military training, but no other time.
Yeah.
You know? So, there wasn't a point other than that.
Yeah.
Except for maybe giving somebody else to be rescued also, so it wasn't just Peta. Even then, I think the story could have been way better if... Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm. But, so, my favorite scenes are the interviews.
Yeah.
Like, whenever they all, like, come together and they hold hands. And, like, Peta talking about, like, the baby. And, like, all of the... Like, even though the baby's not real. But just, like, all of the careers, like, actively all being peeved.
Every single one of them calling out the Capitol.
And they're just trying to, like, stir up the audience to, like, maybe cancel the games and stuff like that. Like, I love that. I love the games in general. Like, the scene whenever Wirus is going tick-tock, tick-tock.
Yeah.
And then, like, Katniss finally realizes, and she's like...
Clicks.
It's a clock. Like,
Yeah, definitely. Very
and then my least favorite scenes are when Mags dies.
Yeah.
And also whenever, like, Effie is having to, like, pick out the names out of those big bowls.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just one
She's
name.
digging around trying to find Katniss's at the bottom. Yeah.
It's just one tiny name. And she's like, Katniss Everdeen. It's just like, And then Haymitch is called, and Peta, like, throws up his hand because he wants to protect Katniss, even though both her and Haymitch want to protect him. So sad.
Well, Haymitch didn't want to protect him.
Yeah,
Haymitch saved Katniss. He voted for Katniss. Like, a vote was mentioned multiple times where they decided which one to save out of the arena.
I know, but I'm saying, like, before those games, like, he had said that if Peta was called first, he would raise his hand for him.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm meaning. And then, what about the last book?
The last book, favorite scenes, killing Coin at the very end, because she sucked. She was obviously a crap human being, willing to bomb children. It was pretty messed up. Just to, like, the war had already been won. Like, get out of here, man. When they were at the cabin and she sings The Hanging Tree, that was good. And she has the interactions with the Avox, where she's whistling with the Mockingjays, and he whistles to them too, and he lights up and stuff. That was very cool.
Yeah.
And then as she finally starts to care about something, like the entire time, all of the books, she just cares about herself. And finally, in the middle of the third book, she gets pissed enough to care about something other than herself. And, like, in 2, when she runs out onto the train tracks and she's, like, giving a speech and then she gets shot, probably by Coin, right? Oh, man. I bet Coin ordered that shot. Like, they knew she was armored, so they just shoot her down as, like, a reason to continue the fighting, because Coin only cared about the destruction and, like, burning down what there was. So, and getting, her in goal. Dude, bet Coin shot her. Bet. Yeah. But that was cool, because Katniss is finally showing that she cares about something other than herself. It's about time. Least favorite scenes were seeing, like, the Joanna failing her test at the end because of the water. That was super sad. Finnick dying. Terribly sad. Hated that. Or, like, I didn't like the entire sequence of them going up to the Capitol. Because, like, their entire idea was that they were going to sneak up there and assassinate Snow.
Yeah.
But the rebels beat them to the Capitol Center.
Yeah.
Like, they just wasted time and killed Pete. They got killed.
And
That's all it was.
The whole time, the Capitol knew where they were because they had those mutts.
They were sending mutts after them. They were, It wasn't, I don't know.
It wasn't sneaky.
It was just, it was it was just Suzanne Collins, right? It was the joke of, this is the new game. This is the 76th games. Because of all the traps and stuff. But other than that, like, in real life, that was the dumbest thing ever. Because, like, they didn't make any time. They didn't actually assassinate Snow. They had no plan on how to assassinate Snow.
Yeah,
what were they gonna do? They were like, Katniss can give herself up, and then he'll come out to execute her, and then Gale will shoot him. That's a terrible idea. This is not thought out. So yeah, just like that entire sequence I didn't love because it was pointless. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. My favorite scenes were whenever she gets the cat, like she goes to 12.
Yeah. That was good.
And picks up the cat, and then the cat's like, I mean, I don't love how she treats the cat.
She just shoves it in a bag.
Yeah, but I love that she like got the cat and they were able to keep the cat in 13.
Yeah, that was cool.
I loved Finnick and Annie's wedding.
So sweet.
Like just being able to have that like sweet, kind, like true moment in the midst of like all this war. Love that. I loved Katniss's speech. Whenever she's like, I have a message for President Snow. Like, you can burn us, but fire's catching. And so, and like right now, like I've seen a lot of like TikToks of like that speech.
Being used
over Black Lives Matter protests. And it's just like chills.
Right. It's right there.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
And so, all those are great. The scenes I hate is whenever all the children are bombed.
Ugh.
Like, that was not necessary.
Yeah.
At all. Especially, like, I mean, it's a good weapon. Like, but why?
Yeah. When it's guaranteed, I mean, it was capital children in the first wave. But then it's guaranteed to be your surgeons in the second wave.
Yeah.
And I guess it was to show, like, she was hoping that the people in the square, like the normal citizens, would see that Snow was bombing his own kids. And they'd be like, oh, well, screw Snow. Mm-hmm. But it's not like they were putting up a fight. They were crammed in there hoping for safety. Like, they weren't... Yeah. None of them were armed, it didn't look like. They were all just hiding there, hoping for a little bit of safety.
Yeah.
They weren't going to protect Snow anyways. Mm-mm. Like, they all knew they had lost. So... Stupid beans.
Yeah. And then the whole, the mutts attacking Finnick. And just like, and then like, they were so creepy, like whispering their name. Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah, that's freaky. Gives shivers up my spine.
But yeah, I think that's like it.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, good series, right? I know we sound sort of critical, like, as we talk about it, as we pick it apart.
I think we're giving this series high praises.
Yeah. Definitely. Like, overall, like, books, all the books, I would say they're a good 4. The series itself is a 4. Yeah. Out of 5. Yeah. Movies were 4 out of 5. Maybe 5 out of 5, actually. I thought the movies were fantastic. Mm-hmm. They did a very good job. I guess that's in comparison to a lot of movie adaptations of books that are just atrocious. Yeah. But like, it was Suzanne Collins nailed it, and like, I know this wasn't her first series. She had another.
Yeah, it was like a
children's or like middle grade or something.
I think it was middle grade something.
But I mean, for her first shot at this genre, this age group, stuff like that, she was very good. I praised her. So.
Oh yeah. I think this series still holds up.
Yeah.
And is still like. It's one of those books that a lot of people, like, recommend. And I think it's worth all the recommendations it gets.
Definitely.
I mean, we could go into the whole, like, is it too recommended? And, like, we should, like, start to, like, find smaller books and really hype them up. But that's a totally different topic.
Yeah.
But Suzanne Collins did amazing on these 3 books. And... for this to be, like, the first series I really remember, like, getting into, like, it's always gonna have, like, a soft spot in my heart.
Yeah.
And I don't think anything is really gonna ever ruin it for me. Like, even though I didn't enjoy Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, like, it doesn't really taint my view of the Hunger Games as a whole.
Unless Suzanne Collins starts pulling a J.K. Rowling and tweets out just... the dumbest things, and then transphobic comments and stuff like that. But like, even before the terrible comments, it was just pointless, stupid stuff. She was like, "Oh, hey, by the way,
Yeah.
get out of here. You wrote the books.
Not cute.
Cut it out."
Not cute at
Yeah.
all. Now, if Suzanne Collins does go down that road, I will not be afraid to just cut all this loose and just put it all in the past.
Yeah.
But for right now, it's all great.
Yeah.
And I happily keep it close to me. And I think that's where we're gonna end
Yeah, that's a good
this
ending point.
one.
Yeah.
So the next books in July are going to be on the 8th. It's going to be the Selection series. And then by Kiera Cass. And then let me see what date is the next July book, and that is the 22nd. And that is Escaping Exodus by Nikki Drayden. And so I'm excited to read both of those books.
Yeah.
You've never read the Selection series. So
No. It's a girly book.
It
Come
is
on.
a girly book.
Yeah.
But you're the one that wanted us to watch The Bachelor. So I think you're going to enjoy it.
There's a difference. The Bachelor is just drama. Like, it's just reality TV drama, and that's what I care about.
Just wait. Just wait. We're going to only read the first 3. I don't think we're going to put you through the last 2.
I appreciate it.
But
It's gonna be a lot of reading anyways.
yeah. So I guess that is it. If you've listened to this whole thing, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, we talk a lot.
We have a lot of thoughts.
But also this was 3 books. So
Yeah, we have every right. I mean, the next one's also gonna be 3 books.
Yeah. But the next one after that will be 1. So we won't talk as long.
That
I
one will
promise.
only be an hour, just like this one. We're gonna fill in the space. We like to hear ourselves talk.
But no. Thank you so much for watching or listening. Yeah.
See you later. Oh no! I didn't pause it. I have to find a see you later alligator
No.
synonym. Just don't stop it.
No.
I have to look it up.
No.
I forgot.
Okay. Thank you for
Just
watching
wait.
or listening. We're gonna end it so you don't have to hear his bye. So
Just wait.
bye.
There's a song.
No. Bye.
Full lyrics. Just
Bye.
there's not. See you later. Guys, there's a song. Well, I saw my baby walking with another man today. Well, I don't know the tune. Saw my baby. Oh, wait, I can listen to it.
Walter,
Never mind. See you later, alligators.
send help.